welcome to this Divine Partnership Coaching video. Out at the park, decided to go for a walk and get near the water a little bit. I've been thinking about a couple of topics that people have brought up and things that I hope that will, I don't know, necessarily make the journey easier, because it's the difficult moments are some of the moments you're most grateful for later. So don't always pray for it to be necessarily easy. Or you know what, go ahead and pray for it to be easy, but enjoy the good parts of the bad parts. In any case, I'm thinking to call this video, Have Faith and Mind Your Own Business. And it's touching on a topic that's come up a fair amount for me and for other, divine femmes and masculines. And it's about kind of having this anxious attachment and constant vigilance about, like, it comes from our childhoods. If you look into your childhood, if you're recognizing these things, and you probably find yourself like constantly trying to take the temperature of your partner and check to see if they've changed or they're interested or they're not interested. And you have like activating and deactivating strategies, and like you get mad at yourself if you miss a good moment with them, or you're constantly thinking about, well, if I do this thing that I want, it might upset them in this way or that way, and that could be bad because then they might not talk to me, and then you see issues of fears of abandonment coming up. And the irony is, like in any relationship, part of what, being in a mature relationship about is having complete faith in your partner and yourself, and recognizing even when mistakes happen or messes are made that you got plenty of time, and it doesn't need to be resolved right away every time. It doesn't need to be blown out of proportion. You don't have to get even or do things like that. And any relationship has that. But the twin flame journey in particular is about learning that. And I think largely because it's about learning self-worth, really. And I mean, why, if you think about it, why is it that we get so upset when someone is disrespectful to us or hurts us or doesn't get back to us when we wanted it, or isn't like in a synchronized romantic mood or anything like that? We get upset because it kicks up our core wounds. It kicks up our mother-father wounds, or wounds that we gained along the way from karmic relationships and situations that we allowed to hurt us and that we still allow to have power over us. And the funny thing is, I did a couple videos, I think, earlier to where I talked about, don't be so focused on what your partner is doing, because then it's like when you're riding a bike, the bike goes where you look. Not necessarily, like, yes, it does go where you steer it, but if you're staring straight ahead, you're naturally, like, you've got fine muscles in your hands that are going to change the direction of where you're going and throughout the rest of your body. So if you're looking over there, the bike is going to start going that way. And yes, you could put in more effort to keep it going straight while you're looking that way, but you have to put in that extra effort to do that, because it naturally goes where you look. And so if you're constantly paying attention to your partner when you're in separation, or you're constantly thinking about them or watching tarot videos or things like that, that means that you are not steering your bike forward. You're not growing, you're not leveling up, you're not glowing up, and you're just staring at them, which means that they're also staring at you. Because you got to realize too, especially whoever is the more conscious one, you are the highest vibration in the room, and you are also the path of least resistance and most love. So mostly for divine femmes, your divine masculines are already watching you. They're watching you. And so if you're watching them, you're basically just holding each other in that place, because you're doing what they're doing and they're doing what you're doing, and you're continuing that cycle, and you guys are becoming each other's karmics. And so, like, you're already going to know plenty about what's going on with them. In fact, another irony is that the less time you spend trying to figure out what's going on with them, or where they are in rebounds or karmic marriages or whatever stage it is that you're in with them, the less time that you worry about it, and the less you think about it, the more they want to tell you about it. And the more, they find themselves missing that you cared about it, or wanting to know if you care about it. And the same thing where, if you're not constantly trying to get their attention, they want you to want their attention, and they want your attention. And it's also very freeing when you can finally be in a place to where you're not constantly vigilant and you do have faith. And I think that's something that definitely characterizes the twin flame journey, and something I'm most appreciative for in it is that you learn to have faith and a faithfulness that it isn't just about physicality. It isn't about being in relationship or union. It isn't about what you get from them. It's about how you feel when you feel like you are connected with them spiritually, eternally, and it doesn't matter what they do in the 3D. And then you could do what Abraham Hicks teaches and Eckhart Tolle. You see them from the eyes of your inner being, and when you see them from the eyes of your inner being unconditionally, they start to see themselves that way, and that allows them to heal themselves. And then it removes any credit or blame, really, from you when they finally see that the wall they're running up against with you is not even a wall, it's love, and that they've been afraid of it, and that they're literally pushing away or turning away somebody who sees their flaws and accepts them, but chooses to focus on the good stuff, and not unrealistically. Like, don't put them on a pedestal or be like super, super kind when they're being mean or anything. You have good boundaries with their 3D self, but you always give them grace, and you give yourself grace, and you give karmics grace, and you're grateful and kind. Like, when you can do that and you feel like you no longer carry the weight of worry about constantly predicting what your partner is doing or not doing, or if they're caring about you or coming back to you, or when or how, or are we going to be romantic ever again, or are we only going to be friends, or will we go through a long period of no contact, all these things. Like, when you're no longer worried about that, and you're able to really channel your energy into things that you always wanted to do, that maybe you thought that you couldn't do until you were in union, things like that then you glow. You know, like pregnancy glow, like new relationship glow. And because your partner is watching you and really is probably dealing with feelings of being both annoyed and enchanted by the fact that they can't stop thinking about you, they watch you glow up. And especially if you've been working on fears of abandonment and not jumped in and out of relationships, they watch you do that on your own without like depending on relationship or support or even from them. And at some point they even realize that by them being the big pooty heads that they've been, they helped you do that, and they can give themselves some grace and some credit for that. And when you come back into union, it is that much stronger because you each recognize that even your flaws are helpful. So that's for both femmes and masculines to work on. Get to that place of faith where you know that, you know what, if you never get back into 3D relationship, is fine. You had whatever amount of time that you had to know them and be with them and enjoy that. That's more than a lot of people get, ever. And so anything beyond that is a bonus. And once you get to that point, you can recognize that, yeah, you be elated to be in union again and to share like true, intimate, romantic moments, but you don't need them anymore. And so any of them that come are their bonuses, and that they're the cherry on top, and you appreciate them like so much more. And your partner recognizes that in you. You're no longer that criticizing, bossy divine femme in reverse. You're the empress. You're chill and you're cool and you're not faking it and you're not worried about it, and you have this like incredible faith in them and yourself, and you're not pressuring them. You realize you got plenty of years to go, and whatever this weird cycle is that you're going through is only going to be like a blip in the story of you guys. It's a different kind of way to be, and it's exactly, I think, what characterizes divine partners, especially divine feminines, and why our masculines, like why we can have that faith that they come back to us. Like who would really be able to let go of or continue to push away somebody who's kind of unfuckwithable in their kindness and their love, and who, like, yeah, they respect you and they give you space and they don't create a ton of drama in there. They do enough to let you know that they care, but they don't do like anybody else that you know. They don't act like anybody else, and they're resilient, and they don't need you, but yet somehow they do, and they choose you. Like who could really like push that away forever? And really, if you're running up against a person you think is your DM or your DF, and they are pushing that away, they're probably not your divine partner. You'll notice things. There's differences. Anyways, so yeah, it's your homework for right now is to get to that place of faith where it's so unfuckwithable that you can go on and glow up and do your business, do your videos, do your blogs and vlogs, take care of your kids and become the best version of yourself you can be, and you no longer have that fear of abandonment or worry because you know that you have a soul tribe and you have a forever connection with your partner, and that the more you believe in that, the more they start to see the magic of that themselves, and then you get to calmly watch it happen and get to those days where they start coming to you and going, I can't believe I was such a clown, and I'm so impressed and amazed that you saw it and you held it and you didn't like, maybe you fell for a little bit, but you weren't shattered by that, you know. Anyways, please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to try to do some more videos about getting to that stage of faith. But for right now, sometimes it's not about knowing how. Sometimes it's not about knowing why. You just do it. So find your faith, steer your bike forward, and mind your own business. And everything works out. It's always unfolding beautifully. All right, until next time.